my dad was like, you don't say fart in this house. We're an ass whisper family.
I need a doctor to cut my cock and give it to my friend.
I cried in the car, and then I drove my car into a wall because I didn't want to live in a world where you could look like this.
This is because I can't fucking come. I'm mad at the world. The world took away my boners.
My least favorite things, the things that make you an individual.
These are a few of my least favorite things.
Breaking everything. That felt intense. Hi, folks. Welcome. It's episode 169. We get one more 69.
We got in one last 69 before the end for you guys. You thought we couldn't make
great.
it. You thought we didn't have the stamina. You thought because of that last sad little cum we weren't going to be able to make it. But then you got up. You cleaned yourself out. You got yourself an Evian out of the fridge.
Not all.
You came back, and I was 3/4 of the way there, and I said, hop on, pony.
Had we talked about 69ing?
On the show?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we
like
have.
in-depthly? Because I hate it.
I like it when it's done correctly.
As opposed to when she's accidentally sucking on my knee.
As
I'm
opposed-
accidentally sucking on her
I mean,
butt
like,
cheek.
okay, I like a girl that, okay, call me crazy.
I also like a girl.
I like a girl. It's just
Yeah, that's just
yeah, that's
it.
it.
We just
I would
camera
love a
'cause we're
woman
able
to touch me. Episode 169,
Yeah.
everybody. This
Folks,
is
the
weird
last
having
10
us
are going to
both
be
face
weird.
the camera.
I know, I
here,
hate
too.
it.
Yeah.
Don't look at it too much.
I'll try. I just look right into it.
I know, I feel like we both were.
But no, when a 69 is done right, by which I mean, and I don't know another way to politely say this, it doesn't matter what size the girl is, but as long as she has it starts with an S, stamina, to stay on her...
I thought that's just how we were going to start doing the podcast. We have to guess each other's thing. Sorry, I'll give you a clue. It starts with an S.
No, I'm like talking
sexy?
because, my God, in case you haven't noticed, buddy, my Forrest Whitaker eye is way worse after getting that head.
I
injury.
haven't noticed.
Yeah.
I try not to look you in your eyes. It's intimidating.
Yeah. I called it my Forrest Whitaker eye, and my mom was like, why do you keep calling it that? I'm like, because look at me.
I'm a monster.
I look like the last king of Scotland. No, so when I say stamina, I mean like and ladies, I think the ladies listening to the show can agree with this. The ladies. I'm just talking to the men.
I feel like every episode now we just immediately talk to the ladies.
Men fast forward 15-second intervals. Ladies, this bit's for you.
They're just like, how long do I do it though?
You know how you hate it when a guy is banging you missionary style and then he is just laying on top of you and just working with and we're all guilty of this.
Yeah.
We're guilty of the being too drunk and just laying on her torso and just smashing. We're all guilty of it, but nobody likes it. The girl doesn't like getting crushed. Same with the 69. I'm not going to be one of those monsters that reverse 69 a girl. And yeah, that's...
You can't do that.
You can, but like you gotta you gotta have a
can.
lot of trust in each other. More than that, maybe I would say a life bond. Some might say you got to be married for 30 years before you can reverse 69.
My problem with that is also the story I wanted to say, and I don't know if I've said it before, and we don't care if we have, but I remember specifically one time when I did it a long time ago. I haven't done it a ton because I feel like I don't like let's just take turns so you can really focus and enjoy it. But I'll never forget one time I was doing it. The woman was on top, as you should legally do it. Traditionally. And we were kissing. Have you tried this? You're just kissing each other in the face. It's like an opposite sex. And it was like middle of the day, whatever. Like
we were just kissing?
high noon, and the sun was just bursting through the window, but it had started to come up as it was happening. Maybe it was morning. However the sun works. Don't question me. It starts with an S. And the sun rose, and then it just was right on the asshole. And up into that point in my life,
her asshole.
No, there was another asshole, a third asshole. It's like the second
during
shooter.
the equinox when you're 69ing just
You
right,
get it
a
just
third
right.
asshole appears,
and you're supposed to give it a
succulent,
kiss,
just
kiss or a
just
light
get
tap.
in it.
But you should not put your finger in the asshole.
No, never put your hands or elbows or knuckles or anything with a joint near the asshole.
But up until that point in my life, I'd seen buttholes, I would say, but I'd never
We've all seen footage.
a butthole in focus. In proper
that
lighting,
much light.
open, not open like an anus is open, but like.
But I mean, like you
cheeks
never see
spread,
like in person
and
too.
like
that's the
perfect
thing.
natural lighting, like brighter than this, which is probably washing me out on the video.
It's washing us all out.
Yeah, it's just completely worthless to even have it. But yeah, and I just remember looking at it and I was like, wow, I've never seen a butthole in such clarity. You know what I mean? And I haven't since, honestly. It's like once in a lifetime thing. You see, that's what I mean. You see buttholes, but you don't get like just a fucking like, I don't know, unless I like shot a flashlight in it, snuck up on someone, I'd say, and just blasted a flashlight in their anus.
I just
That's
feel like
the only
that.
other
I
way
feel
to
like
be able
seeing
to
an
do it.
asshole in that much clarity does something to your mental state. You know, like I feel like it changes you as a person.
I mean, I feel like I understood the female form more.
Just
That's when I became more in touch with women. I stopped being so misogynistic.
Just to finish my thought, I don't like it when a girl like kind of gives up halfway through. You know, because to me, call me crazy, call me a romantic.
I will. I will. Not the
whole
second one.
point-
You got me, guys. They fit the first
You
one.
got
The
me.
second one.
The whole point of a 69 is to equally pleasure each other at the same time.
Right.
So she should be performing based off of how well I'm performing and vice versa.
Wow.
You know, it's kind of like a fun game. Like you talk without talking, you know, it's sexy, it's sensual. But if she's just going to give up and like lay on top of me halfway through and just kind of like jerk my wet cock because she's tired, like I'm going to get bored. Like it's not that I'm going to get bored, but like if a grown adult lays on top of me, I can't keep an erection. I'm sorry. I've only got so much blood pressure.
I'd like to change your mind.
You'd like to change my mind? Make me like the Princess and the Pea, see how hard
Why
I
don't you
can get
down on the
underneath
floor
11
here and I'll
dudes.
pop on you.
If you'd like to be one of the 11 people that lays on top of me, go to www.thedapperdad's.com.
It's called a dog pile, folks. Oh, we have a submission. I wanted to run it by you before we started recording because
Okay.
I didn't know if you would be comfortable with the what it entails.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see, and if not, I'll cut all this out.
I guess what you could
It's
do.
not that crazy.
Could you, since I can actually see the computer this week, could you pull it up so like while you're just running through some promo, I could eyeball it really quick?
Yeah, but I feel like it's gonna throw you off.
If it throws
Right off
me
the
off,
bat.
it's fine.
I mean, just like what you're gonna see.
That's fine.
Oh fuck! I don't have your goddamn Wi-Fi. Yeah, folks. Another thing, real quick, while we Jesus Christ, how many fucking Wi-Fi networks? are
Which one
around
do you
here?
think is mine?
Oh, let me take a look. These are all things that should have been done before. I hope to God it's Girth Brooks.
No, it's not.
Oh my God, that's a great one.
It is.
Holy shit. Is it this long one?
That ain't the Wi-Fi. That's my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get down that far. I'll bleep out the password. Can you say it?
Yeah, I'll just spell it out for you. Cap.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a long ass beat.
I know. As you were saying it, I was like, we should.
Because I knew if I just
we
said it,
should've
you would be like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
Yeah, true, but come on, baby. All right, folks. Anyway, this is the
we'll get
best
there.
episode ever. Yeah, the giant elephant in the room. God damn it! I feel like I have it right. And then, and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't work, try it without the. That would be the only other thing it would be. I'm not.
This is the best podcast.
The best podcast
Holy
ever.
shit! I'm really gonna have to edit this one actually and just cut this out. I'm gonna leave some of it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to chop
Really
out a
just
bunch.
edit the fuck out
Jesus
of this.
Christ. Yeah, guys, it's the Dapper Dads. Don't worry. This is the 2nd out of 10. What is it? Episode 2 out of 10. Final. We're ending. It's clear. We're ending. We're done. This isn't going
I mean,
well
do we
anymore.
want to allude to the elephant in the room while you were trying to figure
Yeah,
out the
that's what I was
technical
gonna
issues? So
say.
maybe we can have some usable.
I tried it without the last thing, and it's still.
That's crazy.
not
I have
working.
no idea what else it could be. Because that's the
Maybe
password
not
today.
capital first letter.
Maybe.
We're gonna get down to the bottom of this.
All right, we're back.
A
Somehow.
lot happened. We just paused for 45 minutes, and things we can't take back were set.
Things we can't take back were said. We found
we
out
got
some things about each other.
We got
It
the
wasn't-
Wi-Fi password, which was the most important thing.
Yeah.
And Girth Brooks. Yeah, the elephant in the room. If you're watching the video, as you should be, there's only a couple left. We're so close to being done.
So
I'm
close.
surprised we're even doing this one. And we're going to allude to mini elephants, but we're in Slim's house. I'm holding the microphone, which is a fun, different thing that's never done. So if it sounds like shit, suck both of our dicks.
Suck both of our dicks.
Mine first, because as we're gonna allude to, Slim did not try to kill himself.
I did not try to kill myself. In case you're wondering,
We have to
in
say
case you're
it.
watching the video, wondering about the wheelchair, wondering what happened. No, I did not try to kill myself.
Yeah, we're
Aw.
gonna get this is the big story. If you follow us on the internet, you might have
Yeah, we should take a
heard
nice picture of me in the chair and put it up and be like, "What happened to Slim?"
Slim's not dead yet.
Slim's
Stay
not-
tuned.
Slim's
Stay posted.
2020 couldn't kill Slim yet. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so like we said, we only have a couple episodes left. We have 8 more after this. Again, I don't think you guys deserve it because Slim's basically dead.
I'm like 90%.
We have to do it at his house, which is unheard of. And I really thought this was going to be like the first time that we weren't able to do it. And I was like fine with that because I don't really give a shit. But I was like, God damn, it sucks that there's only 9 more
Like we
counting
just
this
announced
one.
all this stuff.
And yeah, and we have a certain date that we were set for. But we still do it. Through
Yeah,
thick
for
and
you
thin.
guys.
We
That's
still
why
haven't met.
if you people
Like,
ever think I didn't do the most for you motherfuckers, look at me. Look at me on this video talking to you from this goddamn chair.
yeah, and wait till you hear the story, which I haven't even heard yet, but I get the gist, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, give us submissions.
Yeah, let's
It's-
get through the promo.
It's
before
the
we get
last
into everything.
the
Last
last hurrah.
couple.
We got
This-
one. But yeah, get them in there seriously because we're done. It's
This is
not a
it.
joke.
Like you're not gonna be able to submit anymore. You're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
have your stuff on the show.
and you can
or
have
anything.
whatever. I don't care if it's stupid. Just give us some shit to talk about. If there's ever something you wanted to hear us talk about,
We're gonna
whatever.
make the last one a big long extravaganza for you
yeah.
guys.
If you want to say nice things about the podcast or mean things about the podcast,
If you want to tell us what you've always thought,
we'll say all those at the end. Give us a nice eulogy.
we'll take the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. And yeah, there's 8 more episodes after this. Last episode will be airing on 1/1/21. It's January 1st, 21st.
Seems
As
fitting.
long as we are not killed yet.
Yeah, as
But-
long as I haven't died from complications due to this yet.
I'm guessing the contract we signed with Satan would prevent us from actually dying.
You would think.
But yeah, I mean, that'd be fucked.
Yeah, that'd be.
Unless it's some sort of loophole where
Oh
in
yeah,
hell we have
Satan
to
certainly
record
wouldn't
forever.
do anything just really fucked up.
Yeah, I know he was like making a big deal about that gold fiddle, but I was like,
Yeah,
it's a little antiquated.
But that was in Georgia though. This is Rockford.
Yeah, well, he
Illinois.
offered me when I was like, well, I think we want to sell our souls for a podcast. He was like, you want to throw the gold fiddle in? I was like, I don't think people really
He was
care
like,
about
we don't
that
play
anymore.
fiddle. He's like, how about a solid gold guitar? I'm like, isn't that
It
just
just
like a
seems-
modern like
Yeah, wouldn't
twist on the old stuff? Like, what's up with the
it?
instruments?
Wouldn't it sound bad?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it'd be really heavy. He's
think?
like, no, it sounds good, and then he like plugs it in and like plays like the Stairway to Heaven riff you hear every
Yeah,
dude
you're
at
like,
like
okay.
Guitar Center playing, and like
You got anything else? And he's like, this gold dildo. And I'm like,
you're like this. He's like the
should've led
solid
with
gold
that.
butt plug makes you
blup,
come
blup,
instantly.
he just starts backing like a chicken.
The solid
'cause
gold
Satan is
bucket
a
butt,
chicken.
butt plug.
Solid gold bucket of chicken from KFC. And I'm like, is the Colonel here? And he's like, of course he is. He's
The
super
Colonel
racist.
has a butt plug made out of chicken.
So it's
Just fried chicken shoved up his ass.
So that's not so much a butt plug made out of chicken as just a piece of chicken up your ass.
What would be worse, the biggest GMO chicken breast deep fried shoved up your ass, or 100 boneless nuggets shoved up your ass?
I don't know. I think I.
Because the breast is like that
Yeah,
mega
that's
chicken.
right.
Like this
Just
came
picturing
off
just
of
a perfect drumstick, and then Satan just pulls it out and goes, "That's finger licking good."
That's finger licking.
And I'm like, "Wow, hell is very
We're like, wow,
like,
KFC's gotten really
advertised."
crazy in their advertisement
Yeah.
over the last year.
So yeah, get your submissions in. What the hell else? Call, text 4027 Dapper. That's 4027-327-737. I do want to scream into this.
I know you
microphone.
want to be like a WWE announcer.
I want to stand up and spike it.
I mean, I
Spiking
can't stop
microphones
you.
is fucking fun. I'd like. Well, I guess I do have another one of these, and it doesn't matter anymore
Fair.
because we're almost done.
Keep saying it.
I just want because I've already had people like, "What's up? Is that real? You guys joke too much to know if it's real."
No, it's real.
It's very real. We wouldn't
As we
keep
said in the
saying
thing,
it.
it's not a joke. It's real.
Yeah. We're also. I had someone bring this up, and I think we did forget to mention this. There's going to be no albums of the year episode.
Yeah.
All the final 10 episodes are just fun, normal shit.
Just regular.
Mainly because there weren't music wasn't really good this year.
There was like some albums I liked.
I
that
got
came
3
out, and I'm
for
not
sure.
I really tried throughout the year whenever I found an album I liked to like write it down and like give it a rating and like make a note Because after like 4 or 5 months into the year, I was like, we're not going to have a lot of like good shit.
Yeah, I
coming
know.
out.
It's crazy.
And so like there is a lot of projects I found kind of like through the woodwork that came out a while ago, you know, that are good to where like I feel like if I had to, I could compile a list of 10, but like
I don't think I
haven't
could get
been
10.
I haven't even been listening to like
Maybe
any
5.
and a lot of the new stuff I have been listening to has been like good for like a week or like
Right,
a month,
and
and
then
then
you're
like
done.
I just get a couple of songs.
Yeah, I think that's
and
how a
take
lot of
away.
people.
Did you?
feel too.
So because I've been sleeping sporadically, I've just been on social media at random hours of the night, and I was up at like 4 a.m. on Twitter, and I saw Nav put out an album this year and went #1, and then went #1 with Deluxe, and I'm like, that was this year?
Yeah, I know. This year feels both short and tremendous.
Well, because I feel like they keep fucking with music like that, where like they just because there's no way he got to #1 naturally. Like
no, that was still in bundles because they just did the bundle.
Well, because
thing.
they do the bundles and then they do like the streaming farms now, where they got like the 100 iPhones in a room.
Well, they stopped. You can't do the bundle thing anymore. They just put that rule out.
Because Travis Scott.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll put on like social media like our albums that we did like, but we're not going to dedicate an episode to it, and
no,
there
I
won't
couldn't
be
talk about 10 albums from this year.
No, and there won't be like a year recap because I think we're all aware of the year.
We talked about the things we did this year. The things we did this year were not.
I didn't really.
There wasn't a ton of them.
I think people don't want to hear about this year anymore.
Yeah,
I
think
agree.
people are
don't wanna
done. They
talk
want
about
to
this
kind of
year.
move forward with their lives.
So all 10 will just be as great as this one is, and the last one, will be like a retrospective or whatever. What the fuck else? Email dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com. www.patreon.com/dapperdads. We just cut one.
It's okay.
Like a fart. Cut one like a fart. Does anybody say that anymore?
No. Nobody says cut the cheese anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's absolutely fucked that.
It is. I feel like if and when I
cheese.
have children someday, I want to teach them like cut the cheese.
I feel like if you said that to a lot of people, they'd be like, "What?"
Just like that. What?
Yeah, because like that feels like one of those phrases we've lost.
I feel like I haven't said it since I was a kid. Like I feel like it's one of those things.
I don't think I ever loved it.
I feel like it was one of those things my parents tried to get me to say instead of farting, because like every kid goes through like a fart phase where they're like farts are funny, and then doesn't
they never
stop.
grow up. Yeah, sorry. I was like, wait, that was supposed to be a phase.
But your dad was raised Catholic, and he's like, I can't have my kid saying fart at the store 100 times in a row.
Yeah,
so I think if I remember correctly, my grandpa was actually the one who said it to me. He's like, that's called cutting the cheese, and he said it in like a really funny way. So like I would think it was funny, so I would start saying it instead of just walking around going fart, 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 fart.
I used to say ass whisper was what my parents taught me to say.
Ah, yeah, your lovely upbringing.
Yeah, I mean my dad was like, you don't say fart in this house. We're an ass whisper family.
We ass whisper around here. Do you understand me?
And then in school, someone would fart and I would go, that kid just made an ass whisper. And then everyone would point at me and be like, this kid's a fucking monster.
This kid's a monster and thinks he's a ghost whisperer with asses.
You're not supposed to say monster.
When you say ass whisper, I just think ghost whisper, but with asses. And so I picture Jennifer Love Hewitt talking to dead asses.
I would watch the shit out of that. She's so hot.
She's so
she
hot.
was. You gotta check with everybody now, not just women.
Can't hardly wait.
Can't hardly wait to come in my fucking pants as a teenager.
Can't hardly wait to get an erection and come again.
She was so hot.
Yeah.
Like that era, like my God. If I could pick one woman, as I should be able to, from any period of time, it'd be the 1920s, just because I want to see what they were really working with. Anyway, twitter.com/dapperdads, and then Instagram @dapperdadspodcast. It doesn't matter. What's the point of following us now? You know what I mean? Except we're gonna do stuff. Maybe not.
Maybe not. You don't know.
Slim is trying to break himself. Do we crack open this can of worms?
I mean, what else are we gonna do?
I was thinking we could do at least 45 minutes on farts. I've been saying crap a lot.
Why?
Or I don't know. It's just funny to me.
Just fun to say crap again.
Yeah, like
crap was that.
It's
first,
funny. I said I had to take a crap, or I think it's a Simpsons.
Oh crap.
No, I mean specifically shit related, not like an expletive, or the episode Simpsons where is it the Sexy Flanders one, I think, and Bart's trying to learn how to snowboard, and Otto's like teaching him, and and they're just saying the lingo. And he's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And Otto's like, is it Otto? Says, say it in snowboarding. He goes, can I go blast a dookie?
Yeah.
So I like to say that, or Duke.
Crap was the first like soft swear that I was allowed to say around the house. Like I could say, "Oh crap."
I think you got to have one because what else are you gonna do?
And I, of course, abused it like a motherfucker because it was the only one I was
time.
allowed to say. Which as a kid, that's just what you do.
I used to say "Oh God" a lot, and not like with my hand over my heart. But one time I was at a pool and the water was so cold, I just went, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God," so much that my dad like lost his mind. And in retrospect, I'm like, that is one of the times maybe his anger was warranted, because if I just had a kid just saying "Oh God" over stepping into cold water for like 15 minutes, I'd probably just...
Okay, yeah. I would say like 5 minutes.
I don't know if it was...
Let him get... Yeah, if you're just getting used to the water
even
temperature,
5
that's
minutes
fine.
of "Oh God" is like...
I mean, if you're
crazy.
just getting used to the water temperature, but like if you're like just standing there in like shin deep water going, "Oh God, oh God, oh God," I'm just gonna push you in.
Yeah, I mean, my dad didn't have hands. We've never said that.
Oh yeah, one of the is that one of the big
hooks.
reveals in the final episodes? You were raised in a household your parents didn't have hands.
And everybody pivots on me and they're like, "Oh, no wonder he's so mad and shitty. He didn't have hands."
He didn't have hands as a useful tool growing up.
Yeah.
They probably thought he was a freak.
They called him that when we were walking down the aisles of the supermarket. People would go, "Freak!" And my dad, I would hide his hooks. He had the hooks. He had the different attachments.
You and your
the one for
9
the
siblings had to
cue.
help him get the food off the grocery shelves. That's why he had so many kids. So
he did like just an arm out and knocked everything in the car.
Yeah, but like that was...
we had beans for years.
Yeah, you guys just had like beans and tuna because like he refused to ask for help with anything.
Yeah, of course. And
Mowing
there's
the
some
lawn
things...
out there with his hooks.
No, we hit his hooks. It's just nubs.
Just to punish him.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. So we were like, take the hooks, or we'd like, we'd like put the hooks in stuff, that he couldn't get them out of.
Yeah.
Cement. Anyway, yeah. So we're at Slim's house for no reason at all, and he's in a wheelchair for decoration.
Yeah, decoration.
And he looks like shit, like normal. There's nothing. Honestly, I walked in here and I was like, "You're not doing well. I didn't notice." So yeah, how does let it go. I haven't heard this. And I've got a lot of questions.
So I broke my pelvis in 2 different places.
From jerking off.
From too many blowjobs in a row.
Yes.
The doctor said they went in and they did a CAT scan and an X-ray and they poked around a lot and they were like, "Have you been receiving the most intense blowjobs of your entire life back to back?" I was like, "Well, I don't want to brag or anything."
Well, you had like that gymnastics pole, and you were swinging back and forth with a boner into a woman's mouth.
Well,
and you just caught too much momentum.
She brought it up. I had never done it
know.
before. I wasn't against the idea, but like I knew in like my heart, I was like, "This isn't safe." I was like, something about this doesn't like. I don't.
Sex isn't safe. Can we say it?
I was like, I don't have the upper body muscles to hold myself on this thing and keep swinging into this girl's mouth to completion.
Yeah, back and. I mean, how long do you think that would take you?
Well, see, that's the thing, and so I was like, if I do like.
But I don't know. That might be.
If I do like a couple of really hard, sharp swings into her mouth, then like I figured that would get it done quickly, and I think that's where the shattering came from.
Yeah, her face.
Me
R.I.P.
swinging to
face.
I mean, she's dead, but I mean, like we don't got to talk about.
She was
that.
gonna be dead if everything went well.
Yeah, so I mean, like
That's
she was
part
gonna
of the
die
whole
either way.
Yeah, we've all seen the videos.
If she lived, it would have been the worst possible outcome.
I was gonna say a website I found that you should not say and you should not go to. Well, I'll tell you after.
That's fair.
Because you've got some free time. I'd like you to get it. Some
weird
hobbies.
Some free time where I can't jerk off. It's totally fine.
Yeah. So yeah, continue because I have a lot of dick-related questions.
Okay.
I'll be the Katie Couric of this pelvis shattering.
So what actually happened is I was having a really shitty day, as I alluded to with you, and so I had the day off of work that day, and I was like, I'm gonna go out longboarding because.
And I want everyone to know I said from the get-go this was a bad idea. The longboard, not this adventure, but
just the longboard.
And I didn't know it was possible to have this sort of repercussion, but will you longboard again?
Yeah. Just with
fucked up.
Just with proper equipment on.
Oh, so now you're in pads?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
If you think I'm not going to get a helmet and pads after this, you got me fucked up.
Good thing the podcast is ending because I will not be
affiliated with a dork like that.
I won't be seen with it, but I won't have someone be like, "Don't you do a podcast with the fucking monster who's wearing pads riding a longboard and he's real shaky now because he's forever scared."
I was going to say, that's what I'm worried about is I'm going to be so scared going out there again. I'm just going to have PTSD from it.
After I had my nose surgery, I've never been able to comfortably play basketball, football, ball, sock, anything where a ball could come to my face. Like, I'm like Hank Hill in that one episode. Forever. I played Frisbee last night, took it to the forehead, but I was like, thank God it wasn't my nose.
Yeah.
It's scary, so I don't think you'll ever be okay. Anyway.
And so me and my buddy went out to Rock Cut, and we were out there in like this. I'm trying to think if I can. Are you familiar with how Rock Cut's laid out there?
I believe so.
You know where like the concession house is, where there's like next to the lake where you can like rent all the stuff and get the food and everything. It was the parking lot before that. So there's like
and you said you were with someone?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
So if I was alone,
someone watched this happen.
Yeah. So there's a first-hand account.
I know. We gotta interview him.
You do, because
He's like, it was fucking rad.
His version of it is insane. He's like, I saw blood squirt out of your head and I thought you died.
That would be tight.
Which makes sense because of all the skin that's missing on the side of my head here. He's like, I saw hair and blood, and I got blood all over me when I helped you sit up, and I thought you had cracked your head open. Because what had happened is we were longboarding, and I was feeling good. I was feeling confident. I was riding around in the parking lot. That's the problem, is I got confident.
This is what happened when I busted my knee, because I got confident.
And I've been riding around the neighborhood, and I've been doing the whole loop around the neighborhood here. And like because like it's flat. Because what it is it's flat when you go all the way down that way, and then you make a right.
This road that you live on, though, is like that.
Yeah, it's kind of.
You feel it in your feet, and you're like, fuck this.
Well, and so like you go around, and then coming this way, it slants ever so slightly to where if you get like one good push, you can just kind of glide, and like, so like I'll practice my pushing up here, and then there I'll practice like my steering. And like my stopping, because if I start going too fast, I'm not going to try it now. But you're supposed to like put your foot down and just like when you're going fast, just very gently put your foot on the ground so you can like, you're not supposed to just
like, right, because it'll
right. And so we're going, and it's like this parking lot, and then it's like a little uphill to get out of the parking lot, and then we're at the top here. Hill goes down into an S shape, and then there's that parking lot there next to the boat concessions or whatever. And so I just pull out of that parking lot, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And the person I was with had nothing to say about it, even though later they were like, I should have said something. Like, they feel very guilty about everything.
Yeah, as they should.
They really shouldn't, because how you know better than anyone else. How do you stop me? Like, once I get an idea in my head, how do you stop me?
I feel like I could point out how bad of an idea it is. And sometimes you do listen.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
But so I got on the board.
I would have been pushing you down the hill. What are you talking about?
Right.
I would have been like, this sounds rad.
And so I got on the board, and I started going, and I like, okay, so it makes like an S shape.
Right.
So I'm going, and I go straight, and I go to turn a little bit, and my legs go as I'm turning, and I'm like, bad. And at that moment, that's when I realized I was going like, vroom, and I was going very fast. And I was like, what sucks about that is every little cough I get, I feel it in the injury.
I'm sure.
And
maybe you should stop breathing.
Yeah, that
sounded. I said a lot of things, but that one came out bad.
Yeah,
I meant what I said, but it just sounded bad.
Not like that.
For it to sound
Not
so
like
bad.
that.
I'll edit it out. Don't worry.
But and so it was that last curve right here, and I went to go do it, and the legs again were like that, and I was
jello
like,
legs.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't gonna happen, and so I tried to stop, and I went to go put the foot down, and just the gentlest touch, just boom, and I just went flying. And apparently, the last thing I said before I hit the ground was, "Oh boy."
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which I told my sister, and apparently, and she started laughing her ass off. She goes, that is so funny, because that's the last thing I said before I hit a deer when I lived in Illinois. She's like, she was driving out by Severson Dells, ding, and she saw like the deer run out, and she goes, and she's, like you see it about them, and she just goes, oh boy, and then she hits the deer.
Blew through it.
Yeah, so I like the idea that the slim siblings are out here going through traumatic things, and their last earthly words are going to be, oh boy.
Yeah, mine is usually a swear.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised about, is that it wasn't a swear.
I think that because I've done that as well with like a oh boy. I did that with the thing recently. That was very bad. where yeah, I think that's when it's the worst. Is your brain's even like,
Yeah.
this is worse than it because our squares are so casual. You got to break out a big word for their weird sentence.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, and
So you made it down the whole S though, and then at the end.
Okay, so like if here's the S, I made it here.
Okay,
So
like
I made it
3/4.
down. I would say 5/6 of it. Like
Okay,
it was a good chunk of it.
I thought we didn't do math. I didn't even know you could
Well, no,
go
I'm
5/6.
saying I did like a good chunk of
Right,
it. Like
you were
if I
almost-
had made that last turn, like honestly, if I had more experience with hills, and because like even skateboarding as a teenager, 90% of my experience is like urban shit like this.
Yeah,
like
like
going
flat
through
ground.
neighborhoods and alleys and stuff.
Right.
Not doing hills. I
Right.
was
I've
having
never. I used to skate a bunch, and I would never do like big hills and stuff because
Yeah.
yeah, you get the speed wobbles, and then and I've,
Well, The
like,
Simpsons
never
makes it
had-
look so easy.
Everything does.
I know,
Play
I
Tony
know.
Hawk. That's what I love because that's what when I fucked my knee up, which was on one of these episodes a long time ago,
Mhm.
was because I hadn't skated in forever, and I was trying to teach Cole, and yeah, the first thing he said when he like actually got on the skateboard was like, "This is so much harder than it looks," and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, because you're looking at like the best ways of
People
doing it.
in the world.
And even people who are just starting to do stuff are still like more comfortable on a board. Stepping on a board is like, whoa.
It's scary at first. Well, and this
And then
is
I blew
this
my
is
crotch out, and then I messed my knee up, which is significantly worse than what you went through.
Well, and this is a newer board I bought
my
for
balls
myself
fell
too.
out in that JC
Oh
Penney.
yeah, that's right.
It's worse. Your
Yeah, so
balls
you know
didn't
what I
fall
went
out
through
at
as a
all.
middle schooler.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't in the JC Penney. It was in the dressing
yeah,
room.
baby.
But it was in the grocery store. They fell out in the cooler section.
Well, and so this is my recollection of it. I got to the bottom. I said, "Oh boy," I fell and slid in such a spectacular way that I managed to get some asphalt in, and then slid all the way over into the grassy area and like into a ditch. Like I had so much momentum that my
How
200
far do you think this slide was?
I couldn't even. You'd have to talk
had
to
to
my
guess.
buddy because like
Bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. We have the guy who murdered Slim.
boo.
Big cheer, no huge cheers.
Yeah.
Should have finished it.
You should have finished the job. He's like, later.
you die.
He's alone. But, and so and I'm just going to say this. If he wasn't there, I probably would have died. Like, legitimately, like, not even trying to be funny. Like, if he wasn't there, like, there was people that drove by and everything, but you know how that goes. They're probably just like, oh,
Yeah,
he's
what are they going to
relaxing.
do?
Right. Pick me up.
Yeah.
And so,
I would probably get out of the car, but
well, and you know the guy that was with me. He's not my size, but he's our size. He's a bigger guy, you know.
Right.
And thank God he works in the medical field. And so he runs up and he immediately just very calmly starts assessing the situation. You know, he's not screaming or anything. He's not like
opened
"Oh
your
my-"
pants,
Right.
took a big look.
Took my wallet out, looked for any cash. Like fuck.
Yeah.
And so like he's like checking me out and he's like feeling my head and he's like, okay, we got to get you to like an emergency care. He's like, we got to see if we got to get some stitches in your head or something. He's like, we got to get you a CAT scan, see what's going on. And I go to stand up and I cannot stand up. Like this leg goes, but this leg will not. And like, it's not even in the leg so much as like in the hip. And it's because I know I landed on my hip because everything I hit is on my right.
Yeah. So how did you fall? Like what?
Everything
like
on the-
forward or backward?
It's so hard to say because I feel like, okay, because look at my injuries here. There's my ankle.
Uh-huh.
Every bone that's exposed got scraped. So there's the knee.
Mm-hmm.
There's the knuckles. There's the elbow. There's the head. And then the broken pelvis.
Right. So this feels forward. And I feel like every time I've
Well,
had
because-
that where I put my foot down to try to stop it, like jerks you forward.
Because I ride goofy,
I
if
do
that makes
too.
sense.
Yeah.
I don't ride normal. I ride goofy.
Yeah, same.
And so, so I ride right foot forward. And so I crashed trying to stop with my left and
Yeah.
fell onto the right and then just slid, apparently. And my buddy said there was an explosion of blood from my head, which I think either came from this large patch here
Uh-huh.
on the side
I mean,
or
yeah.
it came from right here on my ear because there's like an artery in the top of your ear. And
This would have been so perfect if he had decided to film it.
right.
Because it feels like something you would film, or like a Snapchat or just something funny. And yeah, I really wish I could have seen this. Not to laugh at it, just so we could really
Like, watch me
understand.
take this hill. And then just like,
I mean, it probably would have eventually been funny. I don't know. It might have just. It sounds like it was probably just horrific instead.
it was.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's horrific for you, but I like to laugh at people's pain.
As we all do.
But I feel like I might not have even found this funny. I'm just barfing.
Well, and so we get to and so he assesses the situation enough, and he's like, you can't stand on that leg. He's like, it's not going to happen. He's like, do you feel like you're going to lose consciousness if I was to go get the car? And I was like, no. I miraculously did not lose consciousness at all during this whole situation. So I was very confident that I did not have a concussion. However, I did have that, like, what the fuck just happened kind of thing, because I did hit my head. And like my vision wasn't perfect at first, but like it never went out. Like my eye just couldn't really like focus, and as you can see, like it's a little like droopier than before.
I don't notice that, but
I can see it because like I saw my face after I got home, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why didn't no one tell me?"
Of course, that's one of those things.
And sorry, this is all just so fucked up. And so he's like, so he's like, are you going to pass out? And I'm like, no. So he goes to get the car, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like thinking of stuff. And I just started calling people because I was like, what did I do today? Because like I couldn't remember like what I had done during the day. I called my landlord on accident because I went and re-signed my lease earlier that day. Thank God she didn't pick up.
Sup, I'm dying.
Hey, did I come sign a lease earlier?
I think I might need to unsign that. I'm about to die.
Well, and so it felt like it took a minute, even though it didn't. He went back and got the car, comes back, helps me get into the car, and he takes my insurance card. This is how responsible this guy is. This is the type of friend everybody needs.
I was gonna say you got the right one.
Takes my insurance card, looks up where we'll take my insurance very quickly, so I don't get overcharged.
Nice.
Finds the closest available immediate care. Takes me in, and so they start checking me out and doing everything, and like I get back there, they're checking my blood pressure and everything. They see my head, they see like everything, and like I'm pale, I'm pasty, I'm like losing blood. I've like just had a traumatic thing happen.
That's a normal day
and I'm trying to
in life.
answer all these questions, and I'm like, okay, and there's like three people like looking in my eyes and my ears and like talking to me. This ear feels blocked up. Like it feels like there's like I can't hear anything out of it.
A chunk of your brain fell out.
Right.
And clogged it.
I assumed that there was just blood in my ear. And so and so they're like, what hurts? You know, everybody's asking me all the standard questions, and they're like, can you stand up? And I'm like, I don't think so. And they're like, well, can you try? And I try to stand up, and it is the most excruciating pain that I've experienced in a minute.
Is it like, have you felt worse pain in your life?
I'm sure I have, but it is up there. Like it was up because it was one of those things where like they were like, you can't stand on your own, and they're like, I'm like, no, and they're like, okay, we got to call 911 and get you to a hospital. I'm like, fine. And like, what am I gonna do? You know, like I can't just be.
I
like,
think I'll just go home and.
I think I was. I
would have said sleep it off, of course.
That's what I have to do, but it took a lot to get there.
No, I mean just go home, sleep it off, maybe
couple
sleep
of
it off
salt tablets.
forever. A little I don't know, burn a stick and wave it around the house. I'm real into that medicine. I can't. Is that
holistic?
Eastern? Or are we
Eastern? We're Western.
Western
Western medicine is all the pills. Eastern medicine is the ground up tiger penis and the sage.
Yeah, I'm a big Eastern medicine.
Yeah, we're all about Eastern holistic. Get some acupuncturists in here.
Yeah, put a fried chicken in your ass.
God, please.
A whole fried chicken.
I would say I think I can eat meat if I boof it.
Yeah, you're not eating it.
I know I was fucked up.
Because you wanted a steak?
Because I was watching TV the next day. No, I was watching TV so I was in the ER room, and they had a Dairy Queen commercial come on for like their new like steakhouse burger or whatever with like 2 A1 steak sauce and a creamy peppercorn sauce with onion rings and bacon and 2 beef patties and a very.
Like, fuck.
I started crying because I was like.
Folks, have you ever been through such an injury that you cry at a
I cried.
Dairy Queen commercial?
I looked at my friend and I cried, and I said, I'm having such a bad day and I want that burger so bad because it'll make me feel so comfortable and happy, but I know it'll just make me sick as fuck.
Crying at the Dairy Queen.
Because you knew the day I was having before the accident.
Right.
So, like, take all that, and that was just a little flash forward for everybody here. It was an accumulation of the day where I cried at the Dairy Queen commercial in the ER after they kept telling me, we don't know if we can give you any water yet because we don't know if you have to have surgery.
Much.
I didn't get anything to drink for 7.5 hours. Yeah.
When I had my nose surgery, I woke up, and I, like, couldn't speak because my mouth was so dry. And they were like, do you want anything? And I just was like, water. And they're like, oh, you can't have water. And I couldn't have water for 12 hours. And I like never in my life.
I know, like it sucks
And
when
you're
you
like-
have to do that. I know, you're like,
And then your family, I finally got to see my family who thought I was for sure dead. And then they told me I almost died. And I was like, I don't care, water. And I'm like telling my mom, like, sneak me water.
yeah,
Which is a fucking crazy thing to be like, sneak me the thing we all need to live.
when I was in the hospital for my heart stuff, they specifically had me on like a very low fluid diet. Like they wouldn't let me get more than
Is this how this works? We're all dehydrated as a fucking
you know
human
those
race,
little
and you're like,
you know those little cups of juice you get at the hospital?
Yeah.
I was allowed three of those a day with one big cup of ice.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, they love to give you ice, and you're like,
and I was like, this isn't going to work for me. I was like, I'm used to, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be drinking more than a 2 liter of fluid a day. I'm like, that's not
What?
possible. I'm like, I can't be doing that. I was like, I got to drink so much more liquid than that.
yeah, don't they? You're supposed to drink like
8 cups of water a day.
and it's more than that. Now they say that that's not even. You're supposed to drink a gallon of water a day, depending on your weight.
Well, and I'm sitting there and I am crying. I am begging my mom. I'm like, please just go get me an Arizona tea or something. I need
Yeah.
something to drink. And I don't know if it's good or not, but I had a friend who kept sneaking me in teas and stuff because she came up, she saw me, took one look at me, and just started sobbing, and then she left.
As we all do.
She left, and I was like, oh my god, is it that bad? And came back with like 4 Arizonas.
This was when your heart.
Yeah,
died?
this was the
yeah,
heart.
I was there, folks, and I cried in the hallway out of respect for your family.
Out of respect, yeah.
And I cried in the car, and then I drove my car into a wall because I didn't want to live in a world where you could look like this.
Yeah. Everybody
And where
says
you
that.
wouldn't die. Like, if
Where I
he's
just can't
gonna
die.
keep living, then I gotta get out of here. And here we are.
If I had a
so-
nickel. Well, and so I get it, and so they get the ER, and so the ER guy's there, and they're talking to me, and they're like, okay, do you think you can transfer over to this cot by yourself? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, well, we're just going to do it for you. And they go to pick me up, and I screamed so loud that apparently I scared people in the waiting room because my buddy was out there, and he's like, you scared... He goes, there was a group of like 3 elderly people sitting out there, and they all looked at each other very uncomfortably when you screamed. Because I knew it was you
When you
screaming.
screamed, oh boy.
No,
It's just,
apparently...
you're like, "Ow!"
Yeah, no, it was just a guttural like...
I
'cause,
can't
like-
imagine how loud you could scream if you were in that amount of pain.
Yeah, and so they
Like,
were...
I've heard you
Scream.
scream and loud and jokingly scream and do that high pitched scream in a bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
It had to be scary. I
It
can't
had
imagine
to
that it wasn't. In fact, every time that I
just gonna
yelled...
chill at my house.
Every time that I yelled when I was in the hospital, I immediately apologized right afterwards and let everybody know that it wasn't at them, that it was just because of the
That's
pain.
nothing personal, just business, baby.
Well, and everybody was very understanding. I'll get into it, but everybody was so nice the whole time I was... This was probably the nicest hospital stay I ever had.
Wow.
Like in terms
What
of like
hospital was it? Can you say legally?
the new one that they built over on Riverside,
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
the Javon Bay or whatever it is.
I
It's Mercy, whatever it is. It's
yeah.
the old memorial because they hate that side of town, and so they're like, rich people don't live over
Yeah,
here.
that's a confusing mess.
Yeah.
We'll edit all that. Just edit all of this out.
But so the guys were like, well, what hospital do you want to go to? And I'm like, not Memorial, not St. Anthony's, and not Swedish American. And so they're like, okay, new one it is.
All of them bad. Yeah, I guess I would go to the new one too because I've had bad experiences at every other one.
Same, yeah.
One of them cut my dad's hands off. Was that on here or was that on the Patreon?
Patreon.
Go to www.patreon.com/dapperdadads. Find out why my dad is a bad person.
Because he has
we get record sales. Even my dad's like, "What is the answer?" And he's like, "I don't have hands." And he's like, really.
But he can
confused.
type?
Yeah, but he's like, I have hands, and we're all like, do you think you have hands?
You don't have
You've never
hands.
heard of phantom limb pain?
Yeah, you just
You
think
lost
you
your
have
hands.
it.
And he's like, I can hold stuff. And I'm like
Ooh,
ghost?
can you?
Ooh. He's like, it all makes sense. I've never been able to hold things.
But so they put me onto the thing. I scream. They take me out of there. They tell my buddy where I'm going. He's like, okay, I'm going to take your car back to the house, get my car, and follow you up to the hospital. Comes up there. They get me into the ER. They start admitting me. They want to do an x-ray first. They want to do an x-ray on my hip because they're like, we need to see if it's broken. And we need to see if you need to get into surgery. So they push me over into the x-ray room. It takes a team of about 8 to 10 women with a sheet to transfer me onto the bed because they're
How
like...
did that feel?
Bad, because they had to like lift me and slide the board under me and then slide me over.
If you hadn't been in pain, would you have liked it? Because I love the idea of 8 to 10 women lifting me on a sheet.
the idea is nice, but I did not. Once again, I was not in a right place to like be like, are these the women I want picking me up on a sheet?
Well,
like
yeah,
this,
I'm not saying I even have to pick. They can be real uggos. I just like the idea.
The idea was very. It makes you
actually maybe 8 to 10 would make me feel bad.
It makes you feel like a big baby almost because like you can't move
that.
and like because like they're doing it because
and they
you
were
can't
wiping
move.
your ass too.
Yeah, and they were like wiping my ass and trying to feed me baby
you
food.
shit
And
on
sticking
your
their
back.
they're sticking their titties in my mouth trying to feed me. They're like, he's starving. I'm just like,
No
liquid. There's too many titties.
I like
I'm
the
like,
idea
get
of
all
you
these titties out of my face. I thought this was a place of medicine.
I like the idea of you shitting your pants on impact, and then it keeps coming up, and you're like, no, I didn't shit my pants. Your friend's like, all right, you think you're gonna lose consciousness? You're good. Let me see your insurance. Did you shit your pants? Are you gonna be okay if I get the car? And you're like, yes to all of them except
the pants shitting.
And at the hospital, they're like, so you shit your pants? And you're like, no. And
Well,
like,
your buddy was very insistent that you shit your pants.
That was like the main thing for a while.
So I'm glad you weren't with me because you would have been like, his dick blew up and then he shit his pants. Yeah, the impact exploded his dick and balls and then he shit his pants.
Is there anything we can do, doctor?
Doctor, can I give him half of my giant penis and then I'll have a normal one and he
so
can
fat
maybe
and
have an
juicy.
okay one?
Come on, I'm just showing. Yeah, could you imagine? People were like, I was scared of the scream, but then this man came in shaking his genitals around.
This
and they were
man
so
came in
thick
shaking,
and juicy.
and you look like those guys that have like the biggest cocks in the world where it's just wrapped up.
Yeah,
and you're
I'm
just
like,
walking
come
around
on,
with it and you're like,
give some to my
"Please."
friend. His dick exploded. I don't care if he's wheelchair.
You're like, I need
forever.
a doctor to cut my cock and give it to my friend.
Yeah, I come in and I'm like, I got you something, buddy. And you're like, oh, some liquids. I'm so thirsty. And I'm like, I guess it could be. And it's just part of my huge dick. And I'm like, heard your dick exploded. And you're like, that's not what happened.
I just eat it.
It's very clear that that's not what happened.
It's very clear my cock didn't explode. It's right here. It's in me, but it's here. Yeah, it's been in me since the accident. I don't know if that's a side effect or what. But
what if it never comes out?
Whatever.
See, folks, see, I told you, and I don't want to say that this is why this happened to you, but you've always been too horny. And I've said for a while you need a break from being horny.
I do.
And God gave you the hardest break.
God forced me.
Yeah, God forced. This is a wake
God
up call.
knew
This should be a wake
God
up
knew
call.
that with the day
Don't
I
come
was
back
having,
hornier.
that if I didn't injure myself, I was gonna go out and do some awful things with my dick that day. So he was like, no, we're just gonna almost kill you and blow your dick up.
So yeah, don't come back twice
At
as
all.
horny.
We'll
Either
see.
or.
The second I get a full erection, you just hear it from your house somehow.
Like a old creaky.
Makes like the $6 million man
I was
noise.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say, does that have a motor in it? It sounds like a pit crew.
Sounds like somebody trying to start up a lawnmower that hasn't been started up all winter.
Like, God damn it. Come on. I'm pulling it aside.
Putting some of that quick start in it. You're
Yeah.
like, come on.
Pressing that like button.
the
to lube
primer
up
button,
yeah.
trying to prime it. And then, am I priming it too much? Is it not going? Is that the issue? And then you finally get it going. It just spits out that blue smoke.
Yeah, blue and
And you're like,
black.
I should probably get this in to get fixed. And then it pops at you, but then it starts going, and you're like, that's fine. It's fine. We'll just
Next year.
next year when you have the money. When you spent too much on beer this summer. You definitely won't spend more on beer next summer. That's not how it
I like
works.
that this implies that it's summer and you've just started mowing your lawn. Like, oh yeah, I guess I should get around to this 3-foot swampy mess that my backyard's become.
Well, I've had an injured pelvis all summer. I suppose it's time I try to mow my lawn. The cops have.
I guess I'll try to find my dog finally. It's got to be somewhere in here, right?
Well, so I get into the ER. They do the thing. They lift me on. They lift me back. Take me back. I'm sitting there for several hours, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna have to do a CAT scan to make sure your head's okay and make sure you don't need any staples in your head."
They're like, Doc, my head hasn't been okay since 1996.
I was like,
I'm
Doc.
like, God, I wish he was dead.
I was like, estimate 91, sick in the head since 91, and they're like, "Fuck you."
I'm walking in with flowers, and I hear that, and I just turn back around
They're,
and walk out.
they're
dump
like,
the flowers
yeah,
in the garbage
unfortunately,
can.
your insurance isn't gonna go here. I'm like, I have Medicaid, and they're like, we don't take Medicaid.
Yeah, no, we don't take it for you.
I mean, for you, we don't take it for guys who say estimate anything before they make a statement. So, yeah, thank God you're not one of those guys wearing an Estwing shirt that says Estwing estimate on it, because we just shoot those guys before they can even walk in the door.
That's not fair. He doesn't have any hands.
Not fair. That guy was only a security guard at night.
he did the work for many
no,
years.
he didn't. He had a TV.
Nobody before that, he grinded hammers.
Oh, thank
for
God.
parts.
Yeah. He really put in the work.
You had to. You didn't
grind
get
in hammers.
You
put
didn't
them
get
in the
paid.
dirt.
hourly. You got paid
You got
per
paid by
part.
the hammer.
And it's not how it should work.
Well, and so hours later, they finally take me to do a CAT scan. Same thing. They got to lift me up, and I'm like, fuck. And then I'm like, and immediately in pain, tears running down my face. I'm like, every time I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's not it, you people. You guys are doing really, really great.
What
you guys
do you
are
mean,
just doing
you people?
I'm like, y'all are doing a great job. Y'all are doing amazing. I'm really sorry. It just hurts really bad. And everybody's like, no, it's okay.
I'm sure it's probably like most of their job.
Several people were like, if this is the worst thing we hear today, this is going to be a good day for us. I'm like, do people just verbally abuse you guys?
For sure, yeah.
Because I'm like,
the whole thing.
Well, and you know, this was a continuing two themes that continued while I was at the hospital was me screaming and swearing because I was in so much pain, and then apologizing for it, and people being very understanding.
That's good. I called the doctor a cunt to his face yesterday just for fun.
Like when the physical therapist tried to get me to put weight on my leg, and I just screamed, and a woman put her head in the door and just looked at me and then put it back out. And I'm like, then shut the door. Like, if you don't like my screaming, then shut the door. You're bothering
do
me.
people think you're just recreationally letting it out?
Yeah, like I'm
kind of bored.
Warming up. I'm setting to record a couple of demos for my metal band since I'm in the hospital laid up here. Figured I would get some swears out.
Darker.
Well, and so they finally do the CAT scan on my head, and the trauma doctor comes in at like 10 o'clock at night, and he's like,
seems when the time frame that the trauma doctor should work.
And I am dehydrated and just fucked up, and I'm just like, and he's like, okay, well, he's like, good news is you don't need surgery. We're not going to do surgery on you because the way it's broken in 2 spots, and he showed me the X-ray, and the way it's broken, they're just next to each other. They're not like separated at all. If they were separated, and that's when they'd have to go in and do surgery. But normally for this type of injury, they just let you heal naturally with bed rest, because if they were to cut all the muscles in your hips to go in and set the bones and like put in screws, it would take longer for all of that to heal, because just the muscles around the bone and like all the blood that flows around there should help you heal faster naturally than surgery. So like, that's good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, also good, CAT scan, no head injuries, you know, you don't have any bleeding in your brain, no swelling in your brain or anything. And then he's like, let me take a look at that though. And so he's like looking at the side of my head. He's like, I don't know how you did this. And people love saying that to me. They're always like, I don't know how you did this. They're like, you somehow managed to just get road rash on your head. They're like, it's just on your head. Like, you didn't. They're like, there's no, like, your skin isn't up in flaps. Like, we don't have to put any staples or stitches back into your skin. Like, you scraped it up really bad. I'm like, luck of the draw, I guess. I'm like, well, because technically,
did he imply that it was rather radical, or
he was like, tubular, dude. You don't need any stitches.
Doctors are posers. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, and so
he's tubular if you skidded across into the fucking water
and then just started skating across the water.
You fly into a boat, and the boat goes out to the middle of that big
and
body of water. Yeah, it's just a Viking's funeral. You're like, I'm not dead yet. Your friend's like, I beg to differ, as he pours gas on the boat.
Well, and then he's like, so we're going to keep you overnight because we still need to talk to like physical therapy and see like what they think about like what we need to like send you home with and stuff. And obviously, you know, it goes without saying, we're in a pandemic right now. Hospitals are very full of people. But you know, they have it set up very well. You know, I was in the opposite end of the hospital where all the COVID people are. So they have that all set up in like a very separate and closed off wing. So you don't really have to worry about like, you know, your doctor seeing like a COVID patient and then coming in and seeing you, you know. And the other theme I found, and this is really interesting, and this isn't meant to like be a critique on anything or anyone. You know, the doctors and nurses are coming in and they've got like 2 different masks and a face shield and gloves and everything else on. And they're like, you don't have to wear your mask when you're in your room by yourself. They're like, if it's uncomfortable, especially because I had that cut here and there's just blood and like pus soaking into my ear. And I'm like, they're like, you don't have to wear it when you're alone in your room. And so every time someone would come in, I would put it on. But then they started saying, oh, you don't have to do that if you're in your room. They're like, you just don't have to wear it if you're in your room. And I kept telling people, no, I'm not going to do that. You guys are respectful enough to have all your stuff up when you come in here to see me. I want to do the same to you. And everybody treated me so great after I said something like that. Because I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if
sure
they're
they get a
just
lot of
used to
people
people.
that are
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're just used to people being assholes about this, which sucks.
Yeah, I feel like everything you said about this is like, I can't believe people are just assholes. But I think people are just assholes to everybody.
I think people are just assholes, but like it really just kind of upsets me how much work I put into being a respect and politeful person in these
Yeah,
situations.
it's not worth it. I say be an asshole.
See, I say
take their mask off and kiss them.
kiss them and then put it on yourself.
Put their
Be like,
mask
"Do you
on.
like
See how many
that?"
masks you can put on your face from snatching off of other people's faces.
Well-
Only in hospitals, obviously.
Well, and so I had to stay in the ER the first night I was there. And have you ever had to stay in one of those ER rooms overnight?
I don't think like what you did.
Okay, so they moved because the room I was in at first was like the ER admitting room, and then this is like an ER purgatory where they can't admit you upstairs yet because they don't have a room, but they need to admit you.
Yeah.
And so they just keep you in this room that has no toilet and no TV and no anything, and you can't do anything except sit there in the silence and just stare at the curtain and then hear everything going on around you all night with absolutely no privacy. So you're sitting there trying to pee in a urinal jug, and there's just,
I like those urinals.
and there's just a bunch of nurses having lunch at the nurse station on the other side of the curtain, and you have nervous dick because you don't want to hear people hearing you pee, and you're on your back. And it was just a lot of that all night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was in there until about like 1 p.m. the next day. They finally took me upstairs. They're like, we're going to get you a room where you can be by yourself with a TV. I'm like, wow, it's almost like a
No,
first
I've
world
grown
country.
accustomed to peeing with the nurses eating. Now I can't pee without
Now I
nurses
can't pee
eating.
without somebody eating a sandwich, and I can smell a nacho cheese Lunchable through this curtain.
It's just me and you in every bathroom from here on out, and I'm just eating a sandwich. Like, come on, you good? Let's get out of here. You gotta stop drinking so much. We're peeing too often.
Peeing too often. I can't eat this many sandwiches.
I am just fucking fat as hell.
From all the
And
sandwiches.
people are like, wow, you really put on the pounds. You know how people are.
Well, I
And
mean, maybe
I'm
if you...
like, yeah, my friend, I can't pee if I don't eat sandwiches.
Yeah, and for some reason... yeah,
I'm a great friend in this scenario.
yeah, you're a great friend, but I'm not insisting you take like full fat milk cheese and put it on bread and just eat it and call it a sandwich.
I mean, eventually, with how much you pee, especially after drinking,
The
not
fact-
you specifically, but
The fact you take
average person.
100% milk, fat, cheese, and lard and just spread it on Wonder Bread and call that a sandwich and eat it while I'm
there's
trying
a
to piss.
big, hefty chunk of Spam in there.
Oh, I forget the Spam. There's just so much lard
They
encasing
just
the
take a
Spam. Can of Spam,
Pop it out.
wrap it in lard, put it on the Wonder Bread,
Mm-hmm.
eat it with the full milk, fat milk cheese.
Yeah, I just got a real Dagwood in the bathroom with you.
I would.
You've got your Dagwood in your hand. I got my Dagwood in my
I got my
mouth, and
Dagwood
we're-
in my lap. My Dagwood's inside of me.
Yeah, I got a Dagwood in my lap.
And so I got upstairs, and that was the night like I finally got some sleep. Finally, because I was alone, but like I've only been sleeping in like hour or 2 hour intervals because, you know, you get comfortable and you forget that you have an injury, and then you like wake
yeah,
up and
that's
you go
my
to sit up
favorite.
normally, and you're just like, holy mother of God,
Oh boy.
oh boy. And so everything just takes, I have to slow down and do everything. It takes a long time. Physical therapy came up and they worked with me, and it was my birthday, and they're like, maybe we'll let you go
Yeah.
home today. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that would be really
Maybe
sick.
we'll let you go.
I feel like the doorbell's
hate
about to
that.
ring on the recording
Oh,
because I'm
that's fine.
positive that's for me.
Yeah, I hate that shadow is casted. I can't believe you live like this.
Yeah, that's my life. It sucks.
Should we invite him in and talk about?
Yeah, just
his
have him
life?
talk about his day. Oh, thank God, he didn't ring a doorbell.
Good job.
Nice guy.
Support the United States.
Support the
Postal
USPS.
Service.
The government is trying to
can't
shut
let
down the
them-
post office for
Yeah,
some
we
reason.
don't understand, but
understand why.
And we don't get political, but we all love getting mail.
We do because
Well,
we love opening
packages,
packages
yeah,
because it
not
feels like little
bills.
presents every time.
I know.
But so PT came up, they talked to me, they're like, oh, we might let you go home today. I'm like, if you people don't stop making jokes about how I'm stuck in
Psych.
here on my birthday, I'm going to be fucking pissed. And it turns out somewhere along the line, my insurance got really good because it paid for like this wheelchair and like my whole hospital stay and like everything else.
Look at
And they
you.
were like, well, how do you want to get home? I'm like, well, I was just going to have a buddy come pick me up.
I stretch limo, SUV,
Well,
fully stocked bar.
and they were like,
Hummer. I want a Hummer.
well, they
I'm
were
not
like,
talking about the car. I want my dick sucked.
I want my
people.
goddamn dick sucked by some of these
They're like,
nurses.
Medicaid covers that. Which one do you want? And it's not like top tier, but you're like, I mean, I'll
Right,
take
it's
it.
not like you can get like the best nurses.
But they're like just banging it, which I assume for
right
you would
into
be
the
like
pelvis
the worst
injury. Yeah,
possible
like I
outcome.
would not. I'm not even kidding you right now. I do not want anyone to even. I can't have a sexual thought in my body. Like it feels
I
so
feel
scary.
overjoyed at
I
that
feel
sentence.
so empty and hollow. Like it feels so
I
weird
don't like that part.
to not have a sexual thought right now.
I mean, yeah, I didn't want it to be this way, but boy, am I happy that it's possible. I thought I was gonna come here and you were gonna be like, I'm hornier than ever, and just hard in those sweatpants, and you're just like,
I
I'm
can't
in the
even
most
imagine
pain because I'm hard.
I don't even want anyone to touch me right now.
What if I whispered into your dick? Would it hurt?
That would just make me really uncomfortable and probably really nauseous, if I can be honest with you.
I don't like that.
Probably start overthinking about it, get really anxious about it, and then just feel
That
really
makes
nauseous.
sense, but I don't.
Because it's like inside of me, and you're gonna see
I thought
it,
you
it's
meant
gonna
my
be really
whispers
bad.
were gonna make you feel.
No, the
nauseous.
whispers are really sensual and sweet. I don't want you to second guess your whispers.
Thank you. It would
Um,
really ruin my afternoon because I'm so prepped to whisper in a bunch of men's penises.
but I ended up getting an ambulance ride home, which is like a thing. I feel like in America you can brag about that. You're like, I was able to get a free ambulance ride home. You know?
I'll die before I take an ambulance.
Right. And the guys that came and did it were like, it was almost like a movie because it was like a 60-year-old dude that's clearly been doing this for like a long ass time. Like this is what he does. He
And
drives
then
the
the new
ambulance.
guy.
And then his rookie was from like Wisconsin, so he had the thick Wisconsin accent.
This is perfect.
And that guy was great because
This
he
is a fever dream. I heard they tied you to the back of a pickup truck. Tied you to the back. The bed was open, totally fine, but they were like, they took the hospital bed, the wheels, they kicked the thing so no brakes, and they tied it to the back of a pickup truck. Your old pickup truck, they revived it
They
just
found
to
it.
bring
me back.
back.
I saw
And
it. I
you
was
were
like, is
"This
that my old truck?
Wow, this ambulance is crazy. And people were like, he can't be doing good. He still thinks this is an ambulance. He's not even in a vehicle.
Well, and the guys went to go lift me into
They put you on a longboard to head insulation.
They did. They went. They put me on a longboard to transfer me into the bed that they were gonna take me into ambulance. Oh, I didn't even get to bring this part up, and so like I couldn't for like the first 48 hours. I didn't stand or sit up at all. Like I was just laying on my back, you know. And I can't remember. I don't know if you know the last time you just laid on your back for 2 days straight.
It makes my back hurt tremendously bad.
Yeah.
If I just lay, I mean, I don't know if I've ever laid on my back for 2 days straight, except for a couple benders, if you know what I mean. And that was in a parking lot. But yeah, I don't. It's not like it's not what I do as a hobby.
Well, I went in Wednesday afternoon, and it was like Thursday, like very early in the morning. They'd given me enough like painkillers and stuff, and like the swelling had kind of gone down to where I felt like I could sit up finally and like kind of like scratch my ass and like move my legs around a little bit. And I kept, and you know, it was just like the best. I'm just scratching, and it just feels so good. I'm just airing out my back, and leaves. Just leaves in my ass. Just lots of fall leaves and pine needles.
At least it's fall.
Well, what's crazy is none of that came up on the x-rays. Is like they're like...
Are you... I think I know where you're going with this. You think the doctors planted the leaves after you fell asleep?
I'm thinking God.
God planted the leaves?
Here's the thing. I haven't...
No, God made you not horny. The doctors wanted to pull one over and a funny joke.
Here's the thing.
Put leaves in your ass crack.
I haven't taken a shit since I left the hospital.
I'm again not happy that this is the way that it happens, but you're so firm with things that when I find out that it can happen for you under any circumstances, I do find a small amount of pleasure, not in your pain, just in the fact, because you've always been like, hey, I gotta shit, talking about how me holding it for 8 hours or 2 days and you not smelling my farts is crazy. But now you understand.
Oh, I've been farting. I just haven't been shitting.
Yeah, I was farting too. But I made a decision to not shit, and now you understand how it feels to be occasionally not horny and not shit. It's not a bad life.
It is. I really hate it.
Fair enough,
It's
but at
really
least you
bad.
know.
I know when it's bad.
I mean, it's just nice to know that your body is capable of being not horny and not shitting.
But no, I just kept pulling leaves out, and I'm like, did I fall in such a manner that my ass is now filled with leaves? And I haven't shit yet, so I fear that first shit I'm going to take is A, it's going to smell really bad. Like, it's going to be bad.
That's going to be...
And 2, it's just going to be all leaves.
I don't love the idea that you think that your actual ass was filled with leaves somehow. Like you're a scarecrow.
There's just so many. Yeah, like there's so many leaves that like
How
I was
many
just pulling.
leaves did you pull out?
Like a handful. Like a handful, and the little residual ones everywhere.
Yeah, I can fathom how.
And then I found like little bits of garbage. But it was like medical equipment garbage. But it's like, how did it get under my back?
I found a Gatorade bottle. Used
No,
condom,
I found
which
like a cap that came from like a vial, it looked like. And then it was like a little piece of plastic like this long, like, you know, the plastic bits that go on the back of shopping carts? It was like that, but it was like a shopping cart for elves. Like, it was so tiny.
Are you talking about a shopping cart handle? Here's how you think of... You had pieces of a handle of a shopping cart in your hand.
Yeah.
I think they did.
But it was
Someone
this
did something
big.
to you.
It
Someone
was so
did something
small.
to
It was
you.
like a tiny little like clip-on thing.
Like a children's shopping cart.
Yeah, like small, like an unborn baby shopping cart. Like it was so small.
You know, that's on all the registries this year is the unborn baby shopping cart. What, your aborted fetus or something? I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know, man. It was a
if
weird night. It's just been a weird
I don't
couple
know.
of days.
I feel like that was a fever dream.
No, it was real. I took pictures of all this stuff.
All right. I don't know.
I sent it to my sister. I was like, "What is happening?"
I think from falling, leaves could have. What were you wearing when you fell?
Like 2 hoodies, a shirt, but I took like
Thank
all
God
these...
for that second
Yeah.
hoodie. Am I right?
Yeah, thank God for that prof hoodie on top of the Gildan sweatshirt hoodie that I was wearing, on top of the Looney Tunes
Shout out.
long sleeve that I was wearing.
Wow, your arms were very protected. Otherwise, you probably would have just not had arms anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
You would have had to go to those meetings my dad goes to.
And I'd have to see him there, and I'd have to be like,
It
"Oh,
was just like,
this is uncomfortable."
hey, I think you know my son. Do I have hands?
And I'm like,
And
"No,
you're like, I don't know.
you piece of shit. We told you to stop talking to
And
me."
it's like, whoa, where's this aggression coming from? I may or may not have hands.
Whoa, buddy, you should be nicer to me. I might not have hands.
You don't have arms. We should
like,
get together
what?
sometime. We're
Talk
the perfect
about
duo.
it.
You and my dad become like a 80s sitcom.
Oh my god.
You guys live together. You got the hands.
Oh
He's
my
got the
God.
arms. I still don't know how it makes sense. I just
Yeah, I
keep
don't know
coming over
what
and
we
I'm
can
like,
accomplish
yeah, it doesn't
exactly.
mean that you guys can put. Are you gonna put your hands on his arms?
Yeah, it's like an
Or-
80s detective series where
and
like
you guys are
arms
like,
and
I don't know,
hands.
but wacky hijinks are gonna happen.
Wacky hijinks ensue, we promise.
And I'm like, Slim, does that imply that your hands are attached to your shoulders? And
Just got
Dad,
little T-Rex
fuck
arms.
you. He's
And
like,
Dad,
whoa,
fuck you for existing. And he's like, whoa, bring
whoa,
it in,
wait
son.
a second. Do I have hands? He just keeps asking.
Over and over.
And I'm like,
Like, is this
why
how
would
you live?
think? Why
Is
weren't you
this
like
your
this when I
life?
was a kid? Why didn't you ask me if you had hands back then instead of just screaming at me for things that I did that were things kids
Because
did?
he
I
was
recently found
confused
out.
about the hands. He didn't know how to emotionally handle not having hands. He didn't understand the only way to emotionally handle not having hands is to ask people over and over again, do I have hands?
Yeah, it's simple. It's textbook grief counseling, folks.
Yeah.
It's very
I ask
easy.
people all the time, do I have a pelvis? No.
Yeah, I know.
I just call people randomly. I call my landlord. I'm like, do I have a pelvis? I call my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, do I have a pelvis? And she's like, didn't seem like it when we were together.
Yeah, I'm on her side now.
And I'm like, fuck you, you bitch.
All right, so my questions. I think we know exactly.
I was
where
gonna say
it's go.
that's pretty much the whole story. The guys brought me home, threw me on the couch like a big pack of Oscar Mayer hot dogs, and said, "Good luck to you."
So are you getting boners? I feel like you said you had like a little boner.
Like I said, I'm not joking. It's like been inside me since I got
Right.
since the accident.
That's how mine is. Just
Normal.
general
Yeah.
anxiety. I had a real bad one yesterday, as you can imagine.
I mean, like, it's
and then
like-
I had it like it fell. You know
Like,
how my
yeah,
day
I look
went
like-
yesterday. I'm not gonna talk about it too in depth, but I was very, very nervous, very scared. And then I got great news that I don't have AIDS. Ladies, men,
Men mostly.
Yeah,
but
men mostly.
also some ladies.
And then I got great news, and it felt like one of those times where like my dick's up inside of me, and then it felt like it just jumped out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, let's go. I was swinging around my neighborhood.
I don't think I'm gonna have a
trick-or-treating.
good boner until this pain goes away. Like until this is healed up.
And what? Yeah. Do you have a time frame for?
They have to monitor it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like average, like between 6 and 8 weeks, average, up to 3 months sometimes,
Right.
depending on the severity of it.
Do they know when the pain will become more tolerable overall?
Nope.
Just
I just have to take it easy. They want me to try to like move as much as I can. What I'm really taking that as is like when I'm on the couch, just like moving my actual legs around, like,
right.
and then like I'm not trying to get into the chair like multiple times a day. I'm trying to, because it's hard to get into the chair.
I'm sure.
Just because the couch, I have to like slide up into getting out of the chair is fine. Getting up into the chair is a difficult part. And so like I'm trying to just like stay on the couch on my back and just like move my legs around as much as possible, because like if I take my pills, it just knocks me out, so I might as well just be laying down anyway.
Yeah. Sleep a couple months away.
I think I might have to, because it's like, damn, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. So no boner.
I got like half of one the
Does
other
it
day.
hurt?
To get a boner? No. I mean, it wasn't like a full boner, so I can't say for sure. It hurts when I like try to fart. Like I have to be at like the right angle to fart and like
I mean,
piss.
it always hurts when I try to fart.
I've been like pissing in a jug and emptying it. So like I've been like sitting on the edge of the couch there, like trying to position myself and pull my dick out of my underwear just right so I can pee in a jug. And sometimes I sit on the injury just wrong and it makes me want to scream at 3 a.m. And I'm not going to lie, I think I got a shit. So as soon as you get out of here, I'm going to spend 3 hours trying to do that.
Hell, just hang out and watch.
I wish you wouldn't. I feel like this is something I'd really like to be alone for.
Do you think? Come on, we're buds.
We're buds.
You've watched me shit multiple times.
I have not.
You just didn't know it was happening.
I've been in the same hotel room as you and you're shitting in a room next to me.
Yeah, that's a weird way to say it. Because I broke into that neighboring room and just
Yeah,
shit
you
on their
kicked it
bed.
down and they're like, whoa, you're not supposed to be in here. And you're like, I got a shit. There's 4 men over there. And they're like, whoa, understandable. Come shit over here whenever you want. I'm like, they're letting us shit over there?
Yeah, and I'm like, you fucked up. Those are the 2 you don't want. The one won't shit. I take fine shits. The other 2 are why I'm over here.
Other one shit's way too much. But
I
you're not
know.
going to know until it's too late.
I know you said you have no interest in doing it, but do you think you could physically masturbate right now?
No.
Even at your gentlest?
No.
There's no way.
No.
How much do you think it would
I don't
hurt?
even have the desire.
I know. I'm saying, like, think of the old Slim, the original Slim that was horny nonstop.
He's dead now.
So you're still horny. We can hope you're still that horny and you jerk off. Or someone will give you $1 million if you could jerk off right now. Do you think there's a way that you could do it? Or is it just like on
$1 million?
Yeah, $100,000. Would you try?
It wouldn't. I mean, I got to get it out of me first. So, like, that's
Right.
the thing.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not going to say we. You need to figure it out yourself.
I
But
mean,
do
like,
you
can I
think-
be alone and, like, be filmed while it's happening? Or are people there filming it? Like,
Yeah, huge camera crew.
okay, yeah, no, that's not happening.
No, I'm saying, yeah, you can. We'll just know. We don't. You can do it alone. Somehow we'll just know that
I'll
it
just
did
come out with
work.
my sticky hand.
Yeah, you just show us cum, and we're pretty positive that it went well.
But I'm
It's just
crying.
you yeah,
The
you
cum's
just
full of
screaming
blood.
and oh god, I'm not giving you the 10. Yeah, it's $10,000. It's $10. I'm like, you don't get the
Whoa.
$10. You're like, I came blood for this? Really? This is what I get? Yeah, those are my questions are all penis related, as you can tell.
Yeah, no, I don't
ask
think
the
I could
important
jerk off if I
questions.
wanted to. And I think it's going to be a while. And I think the first woman to be with me after all this is going to be
Dead.
really disappointed.
You're just gonna, because I want, and I hope for the sake of your recovery and for the story that by the time this podcast is done, we can hear about your first ejaculation, because I feel like it's gonna be
Huge.
yeah newsworthy.
I can't recall the last time
That
I
you've
went
had to
more
take a
than
break?
2 days without ejaculating.
That's what. Yeah, I'm very interested in.
The last time I went more than 2 days without ejaculating was the heart disease shit.
Yeah, and you had to kill a couple people to like.
Just with a
Cold.
gun. Like, it wasn't even like...
Yeah, just with a gun. You know, it's nothing personal. It's just business.
I mean,
baby.
it's not like I
can't
like
lie.
went and like choked him out with like my bare hands or anything. I just had to like
We'd all love to.
sat in the window like Jimmy Stewart in that movie and was like, "Hey, Mr. Potter," and just like blew the mailman away.
This is because I can't come.
This is because I can't fucking come. I'm mad at the world. The world took away my boners. Jimmy Stewart in Slim's Horrible Fucking Accident, featuring a hologram of Jimmy Stewart as Slim.
All right, folks.
Do we want to get into this bullshit before we run out of time?
Yeah, we got one submission. Again, get them in, folks. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe this will give you an idea of what we're willing to work with here. It can be anything. We've never really turned down a submission, but I'll go ahead and read this. It comes from Shitted. The email is crapped@pants.com. Shout out crap. We're just talking about crap. The title is Autism Test. And the submission goes, I was wondering if I could get you guys to take this test, autism test, on the show. You guys have joked before about probably being on the spectrum, and I recently took this test and thought of you guys. This isn't meant to be condescending or shitty. I am like...
I don't like that.
Yeah, because it comes across pretty shitty. I am like y'all, and I think it's helpful.
I'm like y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. If not, it's cool. Also, I'm sad the podcast is ending because it's the best one ever, and you guys have helped me out big time, so thanks, and I'll miss you. Wow, see? That's nice. People do some nice
A nice
things.
message.
So I'll go through this. I got 2 tabs open. We'll each answer it, and then I guess we'll see how fucking autistic we are. Cause
Can you hear me okay in the headphones if I sit like this?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of need to sit like this.
I'll crank you up. No, I'm going to need you to figure your shit
I'm
out.
gonna need you to fuck off.
All right, so first, think about your daily routine. Would you say you follow the same schedule every day of the week and don't like unexpected events? Now, the way to answer this is never, rarely, sometimes, often, very often.
I would say often.
All right. I would say very often. Oh. Is this really not the same? Oh, you fucker. They're like flipped around. How would that happen? All right, hold on. So this is going to be
Okay.
confusing and annoying. I like how the test is like flip-flop, like someone's going to cheat. Okay, so I said very often. All right, next. Dude, what the fuck? This makes no sense. This is the one that really triggered me. Are expressions like curiosity killed the cat or don't count your chickens before they hatch odd to you? Yeah, it's still often and very often, but like, yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not, or they are, or
Right.
indifferent.
Yeah.
Mine is very often for this because this is one of the things that like I spend a lot of my free time thinking
I'd say
about.
sometimes for me.
I spend a lot of time thinking about idioms and sayings, and I always find them very weird and crazy. I feel like I'm just going to be very often to all of these. Next, and you folks should be playing at home because if we have to do this, we want to hear how you are too. Even when you're in a quiet place like the library, do you find yourself making involuntary noises like clearing your throat over and over?
Very often.
Perfect. I'd say often for me. All right. Now, do you prefer to read nonfiction over fiction books?
Nonfiction is not real, right? No, nonfiction is real.
Is real, yeah.
No, I'd rather read the fantasy books.
So never or rarely?
I'd say rarely.
Rarely. I would say...
Or rarely.
say often, I guess. I don't know how to read, so I don't know if that's like a big thing or not. That's another one that triggered me because you say this phrase to me a lot. Is your memory like a steel trap?
Oh, boy.
Even for facts that you don't fully understand?
Yep. Often.
Often for you? Mine is...
Ask me if my mind's a steel trap, and I say often.
Mine is very often. I feel like there should be even a step above that for me because I remember insane facts and I don't understand any of them. Next, have you always wanted a best friend but never found one? Did we just become best friends because we don't have best friends?
Yeah. Yeah, very often.
Very often. I would say often. I feel like people listening are like, wait, are you guys not friends? And the answer is very often.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to play individual games and sports like golf, where everyone works for themselves, instead of team sports and games where everyone works towards a common goal?
I'd say I like the team sports more.
So rarely or never?
I'd say rarely.
I would say very often because I hate letting the team down. I feel like we're learning a lot about ourselves, as are the listeners. Are you really, and then in parentheses, really good at a skill like math or music, but struggle to succeed in other areas?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Is that a very often?
That's a very often.
I think I also might put a very often for that. Because we're both fucking... Yeah, I feel like... I'm going to guess, because I feel like this is one of those tests where you can kind of tell the outcome just by taking them. And the amount of very oftens we've both put down seem like I know where this is going. When you're having a conversation with someone, do you prefer to look at the wall, their shoes, or anywhere but directly in their eyes?
Anywhere but directly in their eyes.
So is that very often?
Oh, yeah.
See, I like purposely do the opposite of this now and stare heavily into most people's eyes.
What I do is I do this. I stare at the forehead right in between the eyebrows, so that way it looks like I'm looking them in the face.
I do that with the nose, but because I think about this a lot, I used to like never be able to look people in the eyes, and so now I look aggressively into like people I don't really know, not obviously like random people, and I feel like it comes off even crazier at times. So I'll put sometimes for that. Next, are you always the first one to notice when a friend has gotten a haircut or made a small change to their appearance?
Oh, yeah.
Very often?
Very often. I'm always the guy that notices like a haircut or like a shave or something. I'll be like, you cleaned up a bit.
Yeah, I'll be like, you don't look like shit
You
anymore.
don't look as shitty as the last time I saw you. And they're like, wow, way to just be very honest about things you don't need to be so honest about.
Yeah, I'll also say very often for that. Next, did bullies target you in grade school?
No, I was a bully.
So never or rarely?
I'd say rarely, because like when I was younger, I had some bullies, but then I got bigger than them.
Yeah, I'd say sometimes. I feel like I had both, and I was also a bit of a bully.
Yeah, then I
at
got
times.
bigger and tougher than them, and they left me alone.
I just got a big fat juicy cock, and I didn't show it to any of the kids for sure. Next, do your family members lovingly refer to you as the eccentric professor of the family, even though you don't work anywhere near academia?
Oh, yeah.
Very often?
Very often.
I will also say very often with that. I feel like I've been called that exact thing, and it's fucking crazy. All right. Do people say that you speak like a robot?
No.
Never?
No, people say I'm really animated in the way I talk.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about your voice and how fucked up it is.
Wow.
I'd also say I don't talk like a... yeah, actually, someone...
I'd say sometimes for you.
Yeah, I've been told when I order food, it's...
Because you can just be like, yeah. Uh-huh.
You think that's how a robot is?
Yes. I'll take a number 12.
I just say it like
extra sour cream.
I've been told I enunciate it very, like...
You do.
Aggressively. But that's so I don't get
also,
food I don't like because
right.
I won't return it. Next, do you talk to friends at a party the same way you would talk to coworkers in the office?
Yeah. I would say I try to talk to everybody the same.
Often or very often?
Very often.
I would say rarely. I don't talk to people in the office because I hate them.
I also don't work in an office.
Yeah, I think it's just a generalization. What's next here? Do you have trouble understanding what people mean when they say they feel embarrassed for someone else?
No.
Never?
Never. I feel like I have a shit ton of empathy.
I agree.
I feel like people are like, I'm so embarrassed for them. I'm like, not as embarrassed as I am.
Yeah. Next, do you enjoy inventing your own words and expressions that might seem quirky to others?
I wouldn't say no. I would say, who does that? I don't try to make my own words and sayings up.
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah, who would do that?
So you're never on that, or?
I'd say never, yeah.
I'd say rarely because I do put some weird words together and call my dog weird things.
Yeah, like I might do that, but like I don't sit there and expect people to think I'm like clever, and like I don't think I'm clever for doing it.
I think I'm the most clever. Are you always bumping into things or tripping over your own feet?
Always.
Very often?
Very often.
All right. I would say sometimes. Because, yeah. All right. I think that's it. Are we ready for the results?
No, but you're going to give them to me anyway.
Yeah. Let's see, baby. All right. For you, let's see. This is not the way I expected it. I thought it would just be like, you're stupid. What the fuck, dude? And this is very confusing. It's just showing me the answers. Thank you. Oh, okay. All right. I see the number now. Let me see my number. Okay. Do you before we reveal it, who do you think scored higher?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's only by a couple if someone did.
So out of 88 points, you scored a 39.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem that crazy. About halfway, a little under halfway. I scored a 80.
Out of 88?
No, I'm kidding. I scored a 43, which is almost exactly halfway. So I feel better. I was really thinking it was going to be like out of 100 and we'd both be like 95.
Well, because if you've listened to the show before, you know that this is something that we like joke about, that we're not really joking about.
Yeah, because it's for sure. I've known I think ever since I like really got the signs of like autism. Because I remember like specifically Asperger's. When I like figured out what that was, I like Googled it and it was just like checking off the box. You know what I mean? When you read something, you're like, did someone write this about me? And then I was like, but I don't know. It doesn't. I feel like if I had it, then it would have like someone would have told me by this point.
Right, like it's something that would have come up at like some kind of doctor's office.
Yeah, but then I'm like, well, I don't know. Then back in my day, the 20s, we're
Back
crazy.
in my day, we didn't really have mental disorders.
Yeah, and
the brain wasn't really a known organ back in the 20s.
Yeah, I feel like that's honestly true, though. Is like I don't remember hearing about people
just
unless you were like real. You know what I mean?
You just had touches of consumption until you were.
Until we died of dysentery, moments away.
Moments away from dying of dysentery and dehydration, apparently.
But yeah, like the thing, or like we watched Love on the Spectrum.
Watched some Love After Lockup while I was in the hospital.
How'd you like it?
It's good. It's trashy.
Is it the current season? Do you know?
I was so fucked up. I don't know, dude. I was drifting in and out of consciousness between Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance and Adult Swim and then Ancient Aliens and people coming in being like, "Tell me what happened for the 600th time."
You're like, I was getting my dick sucked.
I was getting my dick sucked. And
I was sucking my own dick, and I fell off of the sex swing. I think that's the easiest way to sum it up.
That is the easiest way to sum it up.
I think people would understand. You should start to like think of some like wacky ones that would make sense. Just a little crazy, not sucking your own dick specifically. I kept thinking of the episode of The Simpsons where Bart breaks his butt, and then the mafia installs the ramps, and then they go to show him in the wheelchair, and he's like, I'm out of the cast, I can walk again. And he's like, doctors say my butt's stronger than ever, and he just keeps bouncing on his butt. That's what I was picturing you with your pelvis. Like, yeah, so now they say it's stronger than ever, and you're just like dry humping furniture, then it breaks.
I can't wait to come back 10 times as horny as I was before and ruin everyone's life.
That is my biggest fear.
I want this moment to be like a reflect back moment when you see me being an absolute animal and just be like, I remember when that fucker like was barely conscious in the wheelchair, couldn't move around.
The good old days, I'm sure we'll refer to it as. And I am afraid of you becoming hornier, and there's a second thing I can't remember, and somehow stronger. That's not the second thing.
Smarter and better because of the head injury?
I don't think smarter, maybe better. We joked about you becoming like a normal person, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Watch it.
I feel like you're going to have such a pent up, like, I don't know, aggression.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's keep being my friend and see what happens.
Yeah, well, luckily the podcast is ending, so I don't really have any, like, ties to you for sure. So if you become a big horny monster, I'll just be like, yeah.
You can just write it off.
People will be like, didn't you do the podcast with the guy that was convicted of fucking all those trees? Convicted.
You convict me of doing that, though?
I didn't follow the court case that close, but I heard he was sawing through them with his extremely hard penis.
I mean, if I could saw through a tree with it, y'all better be impressed by it.
Yeah, but that implies that you'll never be able to romance a woman again, right?
I think it implies if it's strong enough to cut down a tree, I can do whatever I want with it.
Whoa, folks, you can't say that on
I didn't say, I just said do whatever I want. I want to do everything within reason and consent, okay?
But I think if it's sawing through a tree, it can't be in a human. Call me crazy.
I didn't say I want to, I don't see why.
Because it's going through a tree.
But she like sees it happen and she's like, I must have that thing inside of me now.
I mean, you can give it a shot, but are you? What is there paperwork involved? Because I feel like if you kill a woman with your penis,
paperwork involved every time you hook up with a girl? Like, I'm not trying to cut through her. I'm just trying.
I'm not talking about the hand turkeys we draw in the what's that part before you start having sex where you're supposed to heat the woman up? Yeah.
Yeah, you put her in the microwave and you put it on the popcorn setting. It never works. Why does it have that button?
All right, folks, I think that's that. We're losing our steam. I blame the autism test. Thanks for whoever did that. We're only halfway autistic, which I think is great. I feel good about
for
it.
us.
Send Slim flowers to... I wish I remembered your address. I get the gist of it.
Just put...
Outside look. If you've been looking at this the whole episode, you can figure that out. It's not that hard.
Just come put dead rose on my grave.
Yeah, come sing him songs outside of his house. He'll be in and out of consciousness and not know what's a dream and what's not.
In his sleep.
Yeah, he won't know what's a dream, so do some weird shit in front of his window.
Please don't.
Make him question his reality. And hope that we're back one day. Also, I've had someone pointed out that the podcast isn't ending because of anything with the dungeon. This has been brought up.
No, yeah, we don't want to.
With us like continuing to not be recording in the dungeon. These just
Life
happen
just keeps happening that
which
way.
is part of the reason why the podcast is ending, but not because the dungeon. We still have the dungeon.
We have a great relationship.
We'll
with
make
the
it back
dungeon.
for the last episode, if nothing else, so we can burn it down.
Yeah.